Sup, you chuckle fucks? It's your boy Dark Raccoon here with What If Issei was the grandson of Yhwach Part 2. Now, like I mentioned, I'm still sick. I just drank something really hot a while ago, not the point. So let me continue on with this What If, and let me shut the fuck up. So let me begin. So we go into Issei. Your, this is where, well, it says your Jorgram Hasware, and this is where, well, it says, and your bees, Basil B. This is where, well, mostly the pinkish mohawk says, you're damn right, Prince of Light. This is where, well, mostly the pinkish hair do said, being known as Basil B. This is where, well, Jorgram says, my Prince of Light, are you okay? This is where, well, mostly Issei nodded, saying, I am okay, Jorgram. Wait, wasn't supposed to be my grandfather supposed to show up? Jorgram nodded and this where, well, he will show up later. Okay, but why are you here? Well, I actually, this is where, oh, Jorgram says, when you awaken your powers, we sense it, and of course your grandfather sent us to kind of go get you, to retrieve you back. This is where, well, Issei nodded, I see. So, this might be a little small problem here. Jorgram understood. Yes, I understand. The devils over there, fallen angels and angels, seem to be aligned together. While, well, those people over there that are just a bunch of racists and also just mostly the hero faction seems to be aligned together also. There seems to be not that much power between all of them. All of them are quite pathetic in my opinion. This is where Jorgram says, or mostly not Jorgram just, well yeah, he says that. And this is where Basil says, they're quite little bitches. That guy with the blue hair literally got easily taken out by my shot. Quite pathetic if you say to me, he's nothing but a little bitch. This is where, well, mostly the blue hair dude is kind of growling at Basil. And he is none other than Cow growls and says, fuck you. This is where, well, mostly someone like what's it called Hercules Descendant decides to rush towards what's it called Basil B. This is where Hercules Descendant was about to punch the shit out of Basil B until someone actually appeared right in front of what's it called Basil B. This guy seems to be so a guy with mostly wearing a kind of like this like not WE wrestler. Mostly he does kind of have like a, if you ever watch Mexican wrestling or whatever, basically they have like this kind of mask over them, like it's kind of like a it kind of looks like a robber's mask, but not the point. They have it over them, and his name is Mask de la Muscular. And this is where, well, he appears saying, "Begone, evildoer!" Punches the shit out of, well, mostly Hercules Descendant and Insane, punching him and launching him straight to the Chaos Brigade. This is where, well, some of them managed to dodge from mostly the fact that Hercules was about to just tumble into all of them. They all managed to dodge, and this is where, well, they just wind their eyes. Another person appears. This time, this guy looks like a goddamn wrestler. Now, this is where, well, mostly Issei says, this is where, well, Issei says, Jorgram, does that mean, well, this is where, well, Jorgram nodded. Yes, you, well, we have been sent on here with the special team to retrieve you. Of course, we got, well, mostly a couple other people that are still coming over here because they were on other missions. This is where, well, mostly Issei nodded. I see. Wait, did everyone, Jorgram says, if you're saying that if everyone finished their missions, probably not. You are more important than any of the other missions that we have to do. This is where, well, mostly Issei nodded. Of course, blushing out of embarrassment, but yeah. This is where, well, he's not blushing because Jorgram's a dude, he's not gonna just blush, nah. He doesn't swing that way, okay? So, mostly, Issei said, I understand. Sorry. This is where Jorgram says, do not apologize, young prince. Besides, since you are the Prince of Light, we should always protect the Prince of Light. Issei nodded. This is what, well, mostly, of course, Valerie gets up with mostly a psychotic grin, but this is where, well, she then kind of, Albion told her to stop being fucking psychotic and actually listen to him. This is where, well, mostly, Valerie says, what do you want now? This is where, well, mostly Albion says, okay, there's a huge problem here. The guy with blondish hair and greenish eyes, also, I did say blue eyes on the last video, but he has greenish eyes. I just completely forgot about that. But this is where, well, mostly he says, the guy with blondish hair and greenish eyes, seems to be quite very powerful. The one that's standing next to Issei. Even if you want to go against the red one back again, it will be a bad idea. The blondish hair dude will probably be able to defeat us. This is where, well, mostly Valerie says, yeah, right. He won't be able to defeat me. I'll beat him. This is where, well, mostly Valerie was about to just kind of use Balance Breaker until mostly someone with kind of blackish hair and kind of yellowish, kind of goldenish eyes kind of says, Valerie, stop it. This is where, well, mostly Valerie says, what do you want, Kuroka? Kuroka says, we should probably be going. Those guys that are over there with the red dragon seem to be quite powerful. And not to mention that we are also having to deal with 3 faction leaders. If we do not leave right now, we might be well, non-existence later on. This is where, well, mostly Father scoffs and says, I won't give up. No, I won't. This is where, well, mostly Cao rushes past him, right now rushing straight towards, well, Issei. This is where he started enchanting the Longitis name, and this is where, well, he started launching it straight towards what's it called Issei, and even what's it called Yhwach. This is where, well, both Yhwach and Issei literally saw this, and before it even could kind of like Yhwach can even block it with a shield, this is where, well, mostly it kind of just went like to the left of him to go strike Issei. It struck Issei down, and Issei coughed up blood. This is where, well, he looked like he was falling down. Cao grinned with this mostly like a very good smile that he just managed to win against the Red Dragon Emperor. This is where, well, mostly Jogram doesn't seem too surprised. Like, he doesn't even seem like angry, saddened, or anything. He just has this emotionless look. Basil is actually laughing like a psychotic idiot, while mostly Muscular kind of just also chuckles. This is where, well, everyone was just confused and shocked, and this is where, well, mostly Surtix says, why the hell are you laughing, you idiot? Didn't you just not see? This is where, well, mostly before Cao can even realize, Issei appears still right in front of him. Issei was already right in front of him. Issei says, be gone from my sight. Issei right now puts his hand right into, what's it called, Cao's chest, blowing a hole into Cao's chest. Right now, Cao goes, ow. This is where, well, Issei says, I can see the future. I can also alternate the future. You can't be the almighty. And you can't take my sacred gear because it's not a sacred gear at all, but the power of a true Quincy. And the Quincy pride that I have, you shall be destroyed at once. Issei makes multiple, like what's it called, these holy arrows, being the bluish arrows around him. And this is where, well, Issei was about to shoot at, what's it called, Cao. Until Valerie right now used to divide. But of course, instead of dividing the reality, it's just dividing Issei's strength. This is where Issei kind of got annoyed with mostly Valerie. This is where he wanted to shoot an arrow straight towards Valerie and even Cao because they've been just pissing him off. But before doing that, someone appeared right in front of, well, Cao and even Valerie, destroying both, mostly all the kind of like Quincy arrows that was supposed to shoot at both of them. Mostly, it was a girl who looks to be like a somewhat, not a lolly somewhat, she looks to be mature. She basically has longish, dark, mostly pitch black hair. She also has kind of pitch black eyes, mostly pupil black eyes. And this is where, well, she kind of has this goth kind of dress. And no, she's not going to be the lolly. She's going to actually look like she's 17, okay? Also, she kind of does have a figure similar to that Valerie, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Issei was confused. And this is where, well, mostly, this is none other than Orpheus, the Infinity Dragon. The Infinity Dragon kind of appears, and this is where, well, both Valerie and even Cao say, Orpheus. This is where, well, mostly the others, the Chaos Brigade, kind of wind their eyes seeing, well, Orpheus appear. Orpheus looks at Issei with a very confused look. She knows that this is none other than Diedrich's host, but of course she then was confused a little bit because this power seems familiar. But this is where, well, she was about to kind of try to kill Issei because he seemed to be quite a big problem. Because for some reason she actually noticed that he managed to alternate the mostly future and be able to dodge that attack anyway and appear right in front of Cao. But before she can even do anything, someone appeared right in front of her. Someone with mostly a portal, like a bluish portal, appeared right in front of mostly Orpheus in an instant. This is where other people appear behind, like Jogram and even Issei, around Issei. This is where, well, mostly all of them were wearing the same kind of uniform, white kind of outfits, uniform, like Jogram, Bazel, and even De La Muscular. This is where, well, mostly the person who appeared right in front of Issei was a man with longish blackish hair. Of course, this is where he has a black kind of like beard and even mustache, but not the point. Wait, nothing? Well, not black beard, mostly a black mustache, and just where, well, his eyes are just darkish brown, but right now they're all kind of, well, mostly they're all in a different kind of like multiple eyes into one of his like whitish eyes, but not the point. This is where, well, he seems to be using the Almighty, and this is where, well, he has the super kind of like super winged blade that he is right now having right in his hand. And of course, Issei's, well, he noticed that Issei doesn't have his sword no more because it's confusing. He had it for a while, but it's actually his grandfather's. Issei was confused until he was just very confused. But this is where, well, mostly the man actually pulls out something from his, like, mostly a different portal dimension and just throws it toward Issei. Issei catches it, and of course, this is where Issei kind of unsheaths the blade, and this is what it looks like. So it looks like this, but when he uses the boosted gear, it kind of does kind of have like a greenish tint, but not the point. But this is where, well, mostly Issei kind of holds the sword, and this is where he was confused. He feels so much Quincy energy kind of coursing through it, just because it's its own energy kind of coursing through it, but not the point. This is where, well, the person kind of looks at mostly Orpheus, and Orpheus gets unnerved. She already knows who this person is. She never wants to fight this person, ever. This is where, well, mostly she says, "What are you doing here, Yhwach?" This is where, well, mostly Orpheus said. This is where, well, Yhwach chuckles and laughs like a maniac, saying, "Oh, sheep almighty." No, just kidding. Mostly, I don't know what I was gonna say. Never mind. This is where, well, mostly, he chuckles and says, "Oh, so you already know my name, Orpheus the Infinity Dragon. Did Great Red tell you about me?" This is where, well, mostly Orpheus already nodded. This is where, well, mostly that way. Sorry, I had to sneeze, and yeah, it was a pain in the ass, but not the point. Mostly, Orpheus nodded, and this is where, well, Yhwach chuckles even more, saying, "Ha, well, so you already know who I am. You already know that I'm actually here to protect my grandson. And if you would have actually tried to attack him, I would have seen you none to be existent in my life anymore. I will show you what the true power of the well, mostly not grandson, of the son of the Soul King can, well, show you." Mostly, Yhwach said. This is where, well, mostly Orpheus does know about what's called the Soul King existence, and the Soul King is much more powerful than Orpheus and even Great Red. And of course, mostly Great Red has fought against Yhwach one time and just said never going to fight him ever again. But yeah, just because of the Almighty being the most annoying ability to ever kind of deal with. But yeah, then again, there's other abilities that Yhwach can use, but not the point. But this is where, well, mostly Orpheus says, "So I see that kid behind you, the boy with the red dragon emperor inside him. He's your grandson, isn't he?" This is where Yhwach says, "And what if I say yes? Well, are you going to try to kill him? If you do that, then I'll kill you first." This is where, well, mostly Orpheus already nodded. She knows she cannot take on Yhwach. If Great Red couldn't take on Yhwach, then what chance does she has? She might be the Infinity Dragon, which she has infinity stamina, but she doesn't have infinity, possibly, well, like future seeing or any of that. She doesn't have the power to see into the future. Yhwach has it, and has it so advanced that, well, he can alternate the future into his desires. So, of course, if she tries to kill him, he will probably just kill her off. This is why, well, mostly Orpheus nods and says, "Well, then we'll be leaving then." This is where Yhwach says, "Fine, I'll let you off, or Infinity Dragon, but if you come anywhere near my grandson again, I'll make you sure that you will never existed ever in this whole world." This is where, well, mostly Orpheus nodded. This is where, well, mostly Orpheus right now makes a kind of magic circle underneath him. Well, before they actually leave, right now Valerie gets angry, and she wanted to actually rush towards Issei and says, "No, I won't give up. You're gonna be my partner forever. I'm gonna fight you until I am satisfied." That's where, well, mostly, before, what's it called? Well, Valerie can actually be able to move anywhere. Right now, Issei gets annoyed from the fact that Valerie keeps going after him, which just annoys him a lot. But this is where, well, right now, before, well, Valerie can even have a chance to even fight against Issei, Issei right now kind of like puts his hand out, and this is where, well, mostly, right now, well, mostly, Issei noticed Valerie about to like attack him. This is where, well, mostly Issei was about to use a very powerful technique in his hand that he managed to create out of mostly his eyes. This is where, well, both Valerie and Issei were about to attack each other. Right now, Issei was about to use this like blue attack, while mostly Valerie was about to use a kind of hellish attack. Mostly it was hell flames. This is where, well, or mostly it wasn't hell flames, so it was kind of like hellish lightning, while Issei created those blue kind of flames with kind of this blue energy, but not the point. Or wait, no. Let me say that again. No. Mostly both Valerie and Issei were about to just attack each other. This is where Valerie has her kind of hellish sword. It's kind of called the hellish sword of mostly hell, but not the point. This is where, well, Issei's sword is actually kind of, it's not going to be the singer, not singer, mostly the, what's it called? The silverback wing sword? What the hell did I call it? I think I call it something like that, but not the point. This is where, well, Issei and Valerie were about to attack each other until mostly, well, they accidentally tripped. Well, mostly Issei accidentally tripped because he wasn't entirely in the mid-air. He was on the ground, but this is where, well, Valerie was actually in mid-air, and this is where, well, Issei kind of tripped on accident. Before their swords can even collide, right now, Orpheus did try to make a darkness tentacle, which she managed to grab, what's it called, Valerie, so both of them wouldn't actually manage to kill each other. Now, of course, that rock actually appeared by none other than, well, someone that can actually use what they alternate in future. But what happened in the afternoon, well, mostly in the after image, was not expected, because pretty much Issei's sword didn't manage to clash with Valerie's, and instead both of them landed on the ground somehow. And of course, even though Orpheus still was connected to her darkness, or mostly like a tentacle of infinity, mostly both of them were on the ground and of course kissing each other. This is where both mostly Issei and even Valerie turn red in an instant. Right now, Issei gets off of Valerie, and this is where Valerie managed to just kind of put her mouth to her mostly her hand to her mouth, and did kind of slap the shit out of Issei from the fact that she gave her first kiss to mostly her rival slash enemy. This is where Issei cough up and says, "What the? How the? Huh? Where the hell did that rock came from?" Actually, what's better question? Why is that rock there? Because I did not see it. This is where, well, mostly Joe Graham says, "Sir, was that really necessary?" This is where, well, Joe Graham talks to mostly Yhwach. Yhwach says it would have been an interesting kind of fight, but no. Right now, I should just kind of talk to Issei. I don't want him to right now have a battle scar in the middle of a battle. He doesn't know how to use his power entirely right. This is where, well, mostly right now Joe Graham understood. Now, of course, well, mostly both Valerie and Issei are just blushing, looking away. Of course, Valerie is right now dragged towards mostly Orpheus. Orpheus finally uses the magic teleporting circle to get out of there, while mostly Issei is still stunned, dumbfounded, and he just kissed the hell out of what they call Valerie. Now, of course, the word Dietrich is right now godsmack from the fact that mostly his rivals, well, mostly his rival's host and his host literally just fucking smooch together. So does that mean no more rivalry, or still rivalry but still lovers? This is where, well, mostly Dietrich says, "What the fuck even happened? What exactly even happened?" Now, I should mention before I kind of go on, I am kind of hungry, so I might pause the video just to go get some food. For some reason, I'm extremely hungry, even though I ate in the morning, but, well, that was in the morning. That was somewhere around 7 o'clock. But right now it's 1 o'clock, and I usually don't get hungry that much, or at all. But not the point. I might go get food later, but not the point. Let me go back into what if. But of course, mostly Issei and right now Valerie are just blushing, looking in a way. Well, mostly not blushing. Mostly they were, or not. What the fuck am I at? No, Issei was just blushing and just kind of embarrassed entirely, while a girl that with mostly the other Stern Raiders are kind of just getting angry. Well, she's angry because she wanted to kiss the Prince of Light, because she kind of likes him, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Yhwach says, "Other than that, Issei, we should be going then." Issei gets up in an instant and says, "Oh, yes, grandfather." This is where, well, before Issei can actually leave, right now, Sir Zex says, "Issei." This is where, well, Issei looks at mostly Sir Zex with a very confused expression. And this is where, well, mostly Yhwach also stops just to look at the 3 faction leaders. Right now, mostly Yhwach can actually just take on all 3 of them pretty easily and just knock them all out. Or kill them, whatever. This is where, well, mostly, Cersei knows that mostly Orpheus seems to be quite scared of Yhwach. If mostly what Orpheus is telling the truth, mostly Yhwach is 10 times stronger than him, making him much more stronger than what the list actually compares of being the top 10 strongest. Yhwach is beyond that. This is where, well, mostly the Stern Raiders that are right now next to Issei could be also stronger than a normal, like, super class high being, like a devil and other things. This is where, well, mostly Cersei is kind of right now asking Issei something. Would you go back to Reyes' Parage, even now that you know the truth? Issei looks at this, well, looks at mostly Cersei with a dead kind of, well, mostly dead emotionless eyes, and says one word, hell no, or mostly those two words, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Cersei nodded. He knows that he can't even force Issei, even if he wants to put Issei back into Reyes' Parage so she can be protected. How the fuck is he gonna force him, or mostly force Issei to go back into the Parage when Yhwach is here and literally could probably whoop his ass so fucking fast that he won't be able to do anything? This is where, well, mostly Azza says, so kid, is the alliance between you and us still a thing? Issei says, Issei looks at mostly Azzo and then looks back at himself. Well, mostly kind of just thinks, like does a thinking folks, and this is where almost Issei says, that I do not know. Conclusion, I don't know. This is where almost Azzo switch off, but yeah. Michael says, well, are you sure you don't want to like think about this? Issei says, well, the entirely truth to tell you, mostly I'm only in alliance with you guys thanks to the Red Dragon Emperor kind of still with me since I took him back from mostly Cao Cao. But other than the fact that I am actually a Quincy and mostly yeah, Quincy in the Prince of Light, I actually don't have an alliance with you or a connection. Just through the Red Dragon Emperor I have a connection. But if I didn't have the Red Dragon Emperor, there would be no connection. This is where, well, mostly Asa nodded, and even Michael. This is where, well, mostly Asa says, you wouldn't mind making an alliance between us then, right? I mean, the Quincy's do look similar to that of, like, angels, and this is where, well, one person with mostly pinkish hair kind of said, fuck you, old man. Look here, we're nothing like you. First of all, I am nothing like a fallen angel or a dove. So, or mostly a fallen crow or like a dove. So, first of all, fuck you. I'm nothing like you. This is where, well, mostly everyone switch off, mostly in the Star Raiders, but this is where, goddamn it, Bezo, but not the point, or not Bezo, mostly Bezin. But this is where, well, mostly Yhwach noticed how mostly the three factions are trying to get Issei into an alliance. Yhwach sighs and just says, how about this? When Issei gets stronger in, well, mostly the place that he's going to go train, mostly the dimension / world that Issei is going to be training in is going to take about 1 month. He's going to be training there for 1 month. Entirely, it's actually going to be considered to be 1 year there because mostly our time, mostly time span and other things just becomes somewhat faster there, but not the point. Or kind of is slower there, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly they were kind of shocked to see how mostly the dimensions are quite different. This is where, well, mostly as I say, so how old will Issei be? 18. This is where, well, mostly, as I said, okay, in 1 month, he'd come back. How strong will he be? Don't know. How strong do you think I am? This is where Yhwach said, as I say, that's a good question. This is where Azza wanted to make a joke and say that he isn't that strong, but of course he then kind of just shut himself up and says, I'm gonna say stronger than Great Red, isn't it? I'm stronger than Great Red and stronger than the Outer Gods. I'm also stronger than the thing that you would call 666 Triseca. This is where, well, all of them wind their eyes because they never thought that Yhwach knows about Triseca. This is where, mostly the apocalypse beast being of 666 of destruction, whatever. This is where, well, mostly right now, as it says, if Triseca ever decides to appear again in this world, will you ever help? This is where, well, Yhwach says straight up, no. Literally, no. This is where, well, the only time he will ever help, well, mostly this world if mostly Issei can't do it alone. This is where, well, or can't defeat the beast alone. This is where, well, they nodded. But this is where, well, Yhwach says that mostly in 1 year you get to see him. but truly it's just going to be 1 month, but not the point. This is where, well, he then says if Issei is going to alliance with you or he's not, who really cares? Goodbye. This is where we'll see a portal appears, like a blackish portal appears instead of being a magic circle. And of course, mostly Issei, Yhwach, and even the others disappear through it. But yeah. This is where, well, Azo, Sir Sex, and even Michael, how did you keep this on the down low and just say, screw it? Issei is dead. Yeah, let's just go with that. Of course, well, mostly, let's go into a time skip of 1 month later on. But yeah, of course, everyone was told that yes, Issei is dead, and of course, his body was actually kind of destroyed by Cow, and the Red Dragon is with Cow, so let's just blame it all on what's it called, Chaos Brigade / Hero Faction, but not the point. So yeah, with all that happening, that's just kind of being blamed on them, but yeah. But we go into mostly 1 month time skip later on, or mostly 1 year time skip in mostly the Quincy dimension, but not the point. This is where, well, we go into mostly a meeting between Odin and even what's it called? Well, Odin and the 3 factions, basically in the underworld. But yeah, now of course there was actually also the kind of like mostly young devils that are actually in the underworld, kind of also having a celebration, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly someone is actually causing trouble with the young devils. Mostly there's like a devil that's kind of fighting against this girl with kind of greenish hair, and of course having glasses, and she has, well, mostly, so of course mostly she had kind of like these reddish eyes, somewhat kind of reddish orangey eyes. But this is where, well, she's actually having a problem with another devil. This is where, well, she kind of was getting angry at this devil because this devil was basically insulting her family. And this is where, well, before anything happens, before like Sir Orcus actually appears to actually stop this whole kind of rambling on, mostly someone appeared from the door. Now the person appeared from the door because he was actually considered to be in this meeting, mostly with the devils, angels, and fallen angels for like a alliance. But this is where, well, the person kind of has, well, this kind of like whitish, kind of like silverish hair. This is where it's not fully turn into a silverish whitish hair, but he still has brownish highlights. This is where, well, he has kind of these darkish blue eyes. Well, mostly not darkish blue eyes, but mostly he has these crystallized blue eyes in his mostly eye socket, but not the point. This is where, well, they seem to be like quite crystallized. Think of like diamonds or whatever. But this is where, well, he walks in, but behind him is a person with blondish hair, and of course like blondish hair to reach his torso, like middle of the like what's it called, back, but not the point. This is where he has greenish eyes, and the other person beside him is a person with pinkish hair into a mohawk and has kind of like these pinkish eyes. This is where, well, he has also the uniforms that are basically, they're wearing a whitish uniform similar to this up here, but mostly different a little bit. Now of course there's another person behind them, and that person is actually mostly so this is where, well, behind, well, mostly the person, he does have also a uniform similar to the other two, but that's where, well, he has kind of blackish short hair that kind of looks to be going on one side, but not the point. This is where he has kind of these dark shade glasses, and of course, where, well, he has a hat on top of him. Mostly, like, yeah, he does have a hat, and this is where, well, he is kind of, well, mostly looking around. Well, kind of. This is actually the first time for him to actually go to a different dimension, other than kind of keeping somewhat peace and order and kind of prisoning other kind of like species, mostly hollows, but not the point. Of course, well, mostly all 3 of them, well, mostly that are around the kind of whitish hair, brownish hair boy. One has the letter B, mostly balance. One of them has the letter H, the pinkish hair, mostly has the H called heat. And of course, the last one, he has the letter J called gel. So yeah, this is where the blondish hair is the one to have kind of balance, while the blackish hair dude kind of has J for gel. Now this is where, well, mostly the guy with blondish hair is none other than Jogram. I forgot his last name. Mostly the other guy with pinkish hair is Bezel B. And of course, where, well, the last one is, well, Quill Jopi. Now this is where, well, all 3 of them are right now surrounding kind of mostly the brownish hair white boy. Now, of course, the brownish hair white boy, well, mostly not white boy, mostly brownish, whitish, silverish hair boy kind of notice they kind of fight. Now, he does have dark shade glasses just because it does kind of hurt his eyes if he just kind of overuses them, but not the point. But this is where, well, he noticed, well, mostly a fight between these young devils and one being extremely obnoxious and annoying. This is where, well, mostly the person was about to send a very powerful magic attack straight towards the greenish hair girl. But this is where before it even could even like land at the girl, mostly the fireball was right now in front of the girl. The girl was actually going to do something, but mostly was confused about the fireball not even hitting her. This is where, well, mostly, or not fireball, it's a magic attack from the person's kind of clan family, but not the point. It was like lightning for a second, mostly the attack, but this is where, well, lightning just dispelled an instant. This is where, well, the greenish hair girl and even the obnoxious devil, high devil, whatever, kind of noticed the person just dispelling his magic attack. Mostly what they all saw, even the other high class, mostly somewhat devil clan families, mostly children most of the time, notice, well, the kind of silverish hair, brownish hair boy kind of just, they're kind of standing there with mostly like three bodyguards, but not the point. This is where, well, he kind of looks at the obnoxious kind of devil and just puts his hand in front of him and say blue. This is where a force field right now pushes or just smashes into the obnoxious devil, smashing him into the wall and knocking him out. This is where he's knocked the fuck out. Think of it like when Gojo just kind of uses blue against, well, mostly Toji. But Toji managed to kind of, well, managed to react to that, but mostly that guy didn't, but not the point. Issei just kind of says, so obnoxious. Yes, there's another Issei, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly Issei then notices the girl and says, are you okay? This is where the girl kind of blushes because she never seen someone actually this handsome and cute. And this is where, well, she just tries to keep her blush down, but she can't. She's not like Sona Sifri, so of course this is where she trying to contain it, but not much. This is where she says, yes. This is where Issei says, can I know your name? This is where, well, she blushes and says, yes, it's a mostly Siegfried Agres. This is where, well, she said. This is where she blushes and then says, can I know your name? This is where Issei says, yeah, sorry about that. My name is Issei Hyodo. Now, this is where, well, mostly a secret Agres wind her eyes is notice that this is none other than the secretary or whatever the hell his name again. I forgot how you say the Red Dragon Emperor. There's like a word for it, but not the point. This is where, well, she wind her eyes until mostly Issei says, well, I gotta be going then. This is where, oh, Issei kind of walks past her. Now, of course, he's also wearing a whitish uniform, mostly looking like this entirely, but yeah. And this is where, well, he walks past her, and of course, the three bodyguards follow against Issei. Now, this is where, well, mostly they were confused, and this is where, well, some of the other high-class devils wind their eyes to hear about the Red Dragon Emperor's return. This is where, well, they know about most of the Red Dragon Emperor because it was kind of sad about mostly Issei Hyodo died. That could have been a fucking lie entirely, but yeah. Mostly, Issei noticed was like Odin and even Azo talking up in the stage, while Issei decides to kind of go up in the stage. Now this is where, well, Odin was confused to see a young boy right now nowhere near to be like either 300 years old, just looks to be like around 18 years old. This is where, well, he sat next to, well, almost he sat on a chair that's quite mostly far away from both of them. But of course, this is where, well, Odin says, who's that kid? This is where, well, Azo says, huh? What kid? This is where Azo was kind of drinking, so of course he didn't pay attention. Azo kind of says, oh, that kid? Oh, it's Issei. Didn't know he looked like he grew and became much more taller and stronger, I guess. Yeah. This is where, well, mostly Odin says, wait, are you talking about the Red Dragon Emperor? Yeah, don't you know? He went on a training skip and other things. So yeah, Azo's kind of drunk a little bit, but not the point because they've been drinking a little bit. So of course, mostly he kind of just blurred that out. This is where, what? Odin says, training? I thought you said he died. This is where Azo says, oh, you know, he didn't die because mostly his grandfather, this is where, well, mostly Issei appeared next to Azo right now, smacking him in the head, say, shut up already. You talk way too much, Issei said with an annoyed tone. This is where Azo said, ow, 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 that hurt, okay, I'm sorry. This is where, well, mostly Odin sweat ups at mostly Issei. Issei gets annoyed from the fact that Azo was about to just tell everyone about his grandfather. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, shut the hell up already. This is where, well, mostly Issei went back to sit down, but yeah. Azo says, Jesus Christ, that kid fucking hurts. Oh, that punch hurt like hell. Yes, Issei kind of did add a bit of Ryuatsu to his hand to punch the shit out of Azo, but not the point. Azo gets what he gets, but not the point, neither. But we go into mostly a time skip of mostly Sir Sexy and Michael being there. Of course, the Juka is also there, with mostly Seraphor, except for Fafnir, or whatever his name again. I think it was Fafnir, not the point. Mostly the other kind of Mal, he actually is asleep somewhere, but not the point. This is where, well, everyone is kind of watching, and this is where, well, mostly Cersei kind of says, okay, we're here for an alliance between the Northern Gods, well, yeah, mostly the Northern Mafagi, not Northern Gods, just Northern Mafagi, and also the Quincy's. This is where, well, mostly everyone was just expecting the Northern region, but they were never expecting what the hell is a Quincy. What is a Quincy? Everyone just kind of looks around kind of confusedly. The three bodyguards are with Issei are right now behind him, so of course like behind the stadium, just so well, mostly stage, just in case anything happens, they will be ready and actually prepared to attack anyone. This is where, well, mostly Cersei continues to just talk about Odin. So Odin, will you accept the alliance? This is where, well, mostly Odin says, let me think. If you don't want to agree, then we can go on with mostly mostly representative for the Quincy's. Mr. Odin said, I'll actually like to hear what the Quincy says, or however you say that name. This is where, well, Cersei nods and says, well, may you come up, mostly he then says, may you come up, Prince of Light. This is where, well, mostly Issei decides to stand up. Of course, this is where Issei seems to be much more differenter. Of course, he seems to be much more colder at the same time, taller. He's not really no longer 7'8", or not 7'8". What the fuck? He's not 7'8". He's no longer 5'7", but instead he's actually like 6'1". But yeah, he actually became a little bit much more taller than normal. This is where, well, mostly Issei said, huh? Did you ask for me? This is where, well, mostly Cersei nodded. Would you actually finally alliance with us, Issei-kun? This is where Issei says, this is where, well, Issei says, I, the Prince of Light of the Quincy race, would, I guess, sure, an alliance will be fine. Well, don't expect any kind of reinforcement from our race, since we don't truly like, well, mostly other races, but I can just try to reassure that it's going to be more complicated than normal, but whatever. This is what, well, mostly everyone kind of just heard how mostly Cersei kind of replied to this person. They call him mostly Issei, but they heard how mostly Issei Issei Hyodo was supposed to be dead. Now, mostly the girl with greenish hair kind of noticed Issei, and she's still blushing from the fact that he looks quite handsome. Of course, she's confused in how he's not dead. This is where Sir Orcus kind of noticed the Red Dragon Emperor, also Rias Paraj, and even was a Ka. Mostly Irina was there but next to Michael, but not the point. She was shocked to see Issei. She didn't even know this was Issei until mostly Issei's name was mentioned. This is where, well, mostly Rias and Sona, and even Sona's Paraj, even was called Sanju, were all dumbfounded, shocked, and just like, what the fuck? Didn't they just say that he was dead? This is where, well, mostly, Cersei says, I forgot to mention, yes, this is Issei Hyodo, the Red Dragon Emperor, also known as the Prince of Light, and, well, mostly the recipient, the recipient for mostly the Quincy race. Now, if you don't know what a Quincy race is, then, he will explain it. Issei says, no, we do not need to explain what a Quincy race is, because I'm not going to go take on that long minute of explaining what my race is. If you want to know about that, shit, I should have brought someone that actually explains this much better than I did. Issei thinks about it and says, damn it, not the point. This is where, well, Issei said, fine, as I, as the Prince of Light, accept this mostly alliance with the Devil's Fallen Angels and also mostly Angels kind of alliance. This is where, well, mostly Issei said. This is where everyone kind of widened their eyes after hearing, well, mostly what Issei said. This is where, well, they keep hearing the Prince of Light, mostly the title Prince of Light. This is where, well, everyone is confused. Why is Issei being called the Prince of Light? And why does he keep kind of mentioning the Quincy race when mostly they don't even know what a Quincy race is? Or what a Quincy specifically is, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly everyone was just dumbfounded. This is where Odin says, huh, interesting. Well, then I will try. This is where, well, mostly Odin was about to kind of say and what he wanted to kind of say. But this is where, well, mostly a magic circle appears, and there's none other than what's it called, Loki appearing. Loki says, ha, well, father, it seems that you are trying to lower yourself, or mostly alliance yourself with lower beings. This is where Odin says, Loki, what are you doing here? Loki says, I am here to stop the stupidity of what you're trying to do. We do not need to align ourselves with such stupid beings. This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of just took offense with that and says, fuck you. I just alliance myself with this. Ah, fuck off. This is where Issei was thinking of RA just killing Loki, but fuck it. This is where, well, he just waited out on what's going to happen. This is where, well, mostly, Odin says, Loki, stop this foolishness, and I won't punish you that much. This is where, well, Loki says, father, well, that's too bad, because I will start Ragnarok right now. I will not let you align yourself with these puny kind of species. And this is where, well, mostly he says, okay, call me puny one more fucking time, and I'm gonna show you what this fucking Almighty can do, you asshole. Issei is kind of having tick marks. This is where, well, mostly Issei doesn't show that many emotions, but when mostly they kind of insult his race, he's going to murder anyone. But yeah. This is where, well, mostly Loki was kind of summoning out, what's it called, Finral. This is where he summons out Finral, and this is where everyone kind of got scared. Now, of course, everyone tries to run out of the way. This is where, well, Finral is right now rushing straight towards the Alliance kind of meeting. And this is where, well, before Finral can even, like, manage to get towards mostly Issei's location and everyone else, mostly he was instantly dealt with. And what I mean instantly dealt with, mostly both Loki and even Finral were instantly dealt with by mostly Issei's bodyguards. Mostly Loki was shot in the shoulder and an instant by a fire finger. Mostly someone say fire finger, or mostly does he say fire finger? Or wait, let me say that again. So burning finger, not fire finger. Mostly burning finger. This is where he shoots Loki in the shoulder, and Loki just kind of grabs his mostly arm and just grits his teeth and says, "You." This is where, well, before Finral can even keep rushing, Finral was instantly cut down into millions of pieces. Mostly someone is holding a sword, and the sword, well, is none other than Yhwach. Yhwach says, pathetic. Never attack the Prince of Light ever again. This is where, well, mostly Issei is there just standing there quite calm. But of course, he's also quite bored from the fact that he hasn't really had any fight unless you count that one pathetic devil a fight, which it wasn't. It was just him pushing him away, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly before what's it called, Loki can react, someone appeared behind him. Now it's none other than Jay, mostly what's it called, the Quincy, or mostly I fucking forgot his name, fuck. Mostly the letter J, and of course it's Gel, so I forgot what it was. Wait. So of course, mostly the J kind of, mostly the steroid of J kind of appeared behind Loki, and of course he had multiple slashes behind him before Loki can even react. Loki goes, ta! This is where, well, mostly Jokio kind of just laugh and says, you seems to be quite pathetic. And I thought gods like you would be stronger than I expected. Before mostly Loki can even react, another burning finger shot into his chest. This is where Bezel says, no way in hell this guy can be a god. There's no way in hell this guy is so pathetic. This is where, well, mostly everyone won their eyes after seeing how the Quincy race actually dealt with them. This is where Loki falls down to the ground coughing up blood. He couldn't believe the fact that he just lost towards mostly a race that he just barely even heard. The Quincy race? What the hell was that? And first of all, how strong are they? This is where, well, Issei seems unamused with this. This is where, well, Issei says pathetic. I did not expect, well, mostly gods from northern, well, mostly a betrayer from the northern race to even appear. Well, luckily it's not truly a declared war, since mostly Odin didn't actually fully accept the freaking alliance. But if you can deal with mostly your pest of a son, then we can continue on with the alliance. Mostly none of them did manage to kill Loki, so Loki is truly not dead. Mostly Finral is dead, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly everyone just sees how Yhwach is right now next to Issei, while, well, he's unsheathing his kind of bloody sword, but not the point. Now everyone else is just so shocked that Finral was killed in an instant. A god slayer kind of wolf got defeated by a Quincy, and the one that's kind of considered to be quite powerful, but he's right next to Issei. Issei is right now sighing, and this is where, well, Issei starts falling asleep because he's just tired. He just doesn't want to deal with this anymore. But before, anyone can even react, Loki gets up and says, I'm not giving up. Screw you! This is where he was about to attack Issei, and Issei got annoyed in an instant. This is where Issei disappears from Loki's view, appearing right in behind Loki in an instant because he just uses the Almighty. And this is where Issei says, that's it, you're annoying me more. I would love to just kill you, but I'm just gonna break all your bones in a secret place. This is where, well, mostly Issei right now just teleports both Loki and him towards a different place, mostly in the underworld. Of course, well, Jogram, Bezel, and even Quibbling kind of just know where Issei's already at, but they were about to teleport. And so Jogram kind of says, "Ah, you must be Odin, right? Mostly your son is not going to die. He's just going to have mostly a bunch of broken bones. But mostly he's just going to have a lot of kind of bones broken. But yes, this where, well, Bezel says, we're going to fuck him up. Screw that damn god, fucking arrogant prick. This is where Quiblian kind of just says, I don't really care what we gotta do, but I was sure to imprison him for his arrogancy. This is where, well, mostly Jogram, Bezelby, and also, well, mostly Quiblian disappears in an instant, just teleporting, making like a magic kind of portal and appearing through it. Or not magic portal, like portal and just going through it, but yeah. But we go into mostly, mostly Loki kind of coughing up blood, but this is where, well, he gets angry and actually summons out, well, multiple magic circles, making, what's it called, the world serpent. I forgot its name entirely, but it's not the true real one. It's like a just sea serpent one. But this is where, well, he then summons out Scully and Hattie, and this is where he says, attack them! This is where, well, Issei scoffs and says, so I'll be going against Loki. This is where, well, Issei said towards the others, while the others nodded. Bezel says, I guess I'll be going against, well, one of the wolves. This is where, well, Killian says, I guess I'll be also going against one of the wolves. I will imprison them in an instant for being such insulating kind of beasts against me. This is where Jogram says, then I will be going against the world serpent, my lord. This is where, well, all of them disappears. This is where, well, Issei appears right in front of Loki, right now grabbing him from the face and then launching him straight into multiple rocks. But for right now, I'll be leaving it off here for part, well, 2 of this what if, because I gotta be going. Other than that, bye, so yeah.